All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning. Let me get my right slides up here so I can see what I'm doing here. Here we go. It is August 4th, 2023. We're very glad you're with us this morning. Our agenda this morning, we'll start out with success stories. I do know of a couple landings. We'll then go to have people put in their 30-second introductions. We'll then go to committee reports. We'll hear about the practice interview team, the interview success workshop, the career tip of the week, and then our main event, which today happens to be open forum. We'll do that just as soon as we can get started here. All right, for those people on Zoom, if you have any questions or comments, please just put them in the Zoom chat window. I mean, today will be open forum, so you can just unmute your mic and ask your questions away as we get going here. For those on Facebook, if you have any questions, please just enter your questions into the comment field. We are monitoring that feed. We'll be sure to get those questions answered for you when we go into open forum today. Please note this event is being recorded and is currently live on Facebook. The recording will be on the Career DFW Facebook page and the Career USA YouTube channel for others to view in the future. By participating in this event, you give consent for your name and picture to appear. Please note that any comments you put in the Zoom chat window will not appear in the recording. Now, let's see here. I'm trying to get my Facebook feed up so I can see it. Give me a second here. Kathy, great question. We will answer that when we move into open forum. All right. Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Jeff Morris. Since 2007, I've been facilitating and leading the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. The group's been around since the late 1990s. I took it over in 2007 when the prior leader got a job. In 2008, I saw there was a need for a website to sort of put everything together for job seekers in one place. So I created a website called careerdfw.org. In 2012, I launched the second website, careerusa.org, to help those around the United States. I have written a book called What I've Learned About Your Job Search You May Not Know. It is available on Amazon. If you see me in person, I always have copies with me. And since 2017, I've been a member of the practice interview team. And you'll hear more about that in just a moment. Well, we like to start the meeting off with good news. Anybody out there have any landings they'd like to announce? Yes, Dion.
Yes, good morning. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been here, but I will say that I have landed a new position. It's interesting because the first time I joined you guys about 2 years ago, I landed a position. Now I've landed a different position with Lockheed Martin in Fort Worth, Texas.
Well, congratulations. So how did you find out about the job?
So a lot of this is networking and talking to the right individuals to get you to get in front of those hiring managers. Recruiters can only do so much, but again, networking and showing up to some of those events, getting to know those individuals, and a lot of companies are willing to help where they can. Like I said, for me, I went to a lot of their networking events, networking meetings that are on LinkedIn or other in-person things or whatever. I got introduced to some people that asked me if I was interested in jobs, and I was like, well, it just so happens that I've applied to these jobs. It's like, oh, well, I'll take a look at it tomorrow. About a week later, got an interview, and about 4 days after that, got an offer.
Wow. So really just in a couple-week period, but it took a matter of networking into the group for a while, right?
Correct.
Right. So what one tip would you want to pass on to job seekers, what they should do or not do?
You actually have to get out there and talk to people, do those networking events, reach out to individuals. Don't be afraid to go outside of your comfort zone is what I would tell you. The jobs are not going to come to you. You have to go to those jobs.
All right. Well, great. Well, please put the new information in the chat window. That way I can use that to update the roster this afternoon. So congratulations and thank you for that announcement. Anybody else? Any other landings? All right, hold on a second here. Gonna move a couple things around here on the screen. And let me share screen. I do know of some landings. After people have been disappeared for 90 days and we don't see them, I reach back out to them and find out what's going on. 5 different people reached back out of the list. They hadn't been here for 90 days. Diego is working as a technical manager at Wincor. I think it's a contract job, and he said he'd be back with us in another month or two. Tom Gidi is working as a VP of Marketing Development at AT&T. Marcia Bronson got a job as an administrative assistant. She didn't tell me where. Chad Hines got a job as a strategic IT project program manager. And Tony Tabor got a job at Boeing in supply chain at the DFW airport location. So that makes 28, and then Dion makes 29 landings for the year out of this group. So I would just like to sort of keep track, keep it for everybody. So these are people who disappeared over the last 90 days who we didn't hear from. I sent an email out to everybody just to follow up, and that's what they went and told me. All right, anybody else? Last chance. All right. Well, what we'd like everybody to do now is for those online in the Zoom chat window, please put your name, comma, phone number, comma, email address, comma, position you're looking for, comma, 2 or 3 target companies, and then hit the return key. What I will do with this is I will use this to update the roster. You'll get a copy of the roster this afternoon. On that roster, there's 3 tabs. Those people that are active currently with us in the last 90 days. There'll be a tab of all of our alumni, and these alumni go back to 2006 or 7, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a really big list. So this is a great way to go find somebody and network with somebody in this, who's been part of this group before, and you can reach out to them. They may not work there anymore, but at least maybe they can have any contacts. And then the 3rd tab are those people we've lost contact with over the last 90 days. So please go ahead and put your information in the chat window. We'll give everybody 30 seconds on the clock. All right, if you're still typing, please go ahead and continue to type away. We'll get that information on there. What we want to do is for those people that are here in the room, give them an opportunity to tell us their 30-second introductions. So if you'll grab the mic and just flip the switch on, and we'll let you tell us who you are.
Good morning. My name is Ryan Harden. I am a recently retired teacher, and I am looking to transition and somewhere into the corporate world. I help people better themselves. That's my ultimate goal, is to help make people better once I come in contact with them. I'm currently looking for positions anywhere where I can help people, maybe customer success type jobs, some target companies. I'm looking at a place called Learfield right now, and I really am kind of wide open. Again, my name is Ryan Harden.
Thank you, Ryan.
Good morning, everyone. Walt Glass. I'm going to make a really short introduction today. I offer the Interview Success Workshop. It's a free service to learn how to sell ourselves. Look me up on LinkedIn for details about the information. And right now I'm booked. I'm getting into September, so I'm going to hold registrations for a while. If you want to send me an email, I will respond that I'll respond back to you 2 or 3 weeks, put you in a pending folder, and we'll go forward from there. I got to plan also take some breaks sometime in September, but the calendar is really full right now, and I don't like having people to wait a long time. But nonetheless, you can go ahead and send something to me if you're still interested, and I'll put you on that list, and I'll contact you back.
Great. Thank you very much, Walt. All righty. Let's see here. If two totally free websites, if you know somebody who's unemployed, somebody recently unemployed, somebody's been unemployed for a while, please let them know about Career DFW and careerusa.org. Two totally free websites. They're thus just there to help you, give you information, and help you along in what you're doing. A couple things. One, the careerusa.org website was just totally rebuilt a couple weeks ago. Please check it out. If you see any errors, please let me know. You see anything that doesn't work, please let me know so I can get it fixed. We're about to start on the Career DFW website, update it. You'll see the fonts are going to change a little bit different look, just trying to clean it up. So if you see anything on there, please let us know. One of the things you'll find on the Career DFW website is a bunch of calendars. And on those calendars, here we're looking at the everything calendar. This shows everything going on in the DFW area during a week. The pink are job fairs, the gold are special workshops that are happening, blue are networking groups that are meeting in person, purple are webinars, groups that you can attend anytime via the internet or radio TV shows that are happening. So check out the calendars. If you know of an event that's coming up, if you know of something going on and you don't see it on the calendar, please let me know so I can update it. I'm the kind of manager who wants to share all the information with everybody. I want everybody to know so that you can partake of any of the training sessions that are happening. All right, let me talk a second about the practice interview team. Your resume and your LinkedIn profile are not going to get you a job. What are they going to get you? They're going to get you a phone call. How well you practice your interviewing skills, that's what's going to get you your next job. So the Dallas Pit Crew is a break off from this Friday group. It started 8, 9, maybe 10 years ago. A couple of people said, hey, I've got an interview coming up. Can you help me practice? And a couple of people said, okay, sure. Well, when? Well, how about Wednesday at 1 o'clock? So they met at Wednesday at 1 o'clock. There were 3 people there. And then the next week there were 4 or 5. And the following week it just grew and grew. And over the years, we've had as many as 50 or 60 people show up on a Wednesday at 1 p.m. The resources are totally free. Since COVID, everything sort of changed what we do. They are meeting online. They are meeting in person. So we can conduct an interview Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Their motto is practice early, practice often. You need to practice more than once. In fact, this past Wednesday, I was part of the panel, and we had a candidate, and he was interviewing for the second time. Well, there was somebody out in an audience member who was watching the interviews, and he said, I saw your first interview. You're 1,000% better this time, because he had learned from the first practice interview and just knew what to do. He said he was more comfortable. And it just worked out a lot better. So if you're interested in having a practice interview, just send a resume and a job description and your schedule 2 to 4 days out to dallaspitcrew@gmail.com. If you want more information, just go to dallaspitcrew.com and you'll get more information about what we're doing. We are also meeting in person on the first and third Wednesday. So like I said, this past Wednesday, we actually met in person. There was no online option. This next week coming up, I know we have an interview scheduled. It will be on Zoom only. So if you'd like to join us, come join us. If you're part of our mailing list, you'll get an email saying what's happening, but that'll be next Wednesday. I do know we have a practice interview online that'll be online, and then we'll be meeting back here again the third Wednesday of the month, meeting in person. All right, it's time to hear the career tip of the week. We put a new career tip of the week every week on the Career DFW and careerusa.org websites. Rosanna, good morning. Thank you for being with us.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, everybody. Oh, happy Friday. All right. So this week's tip of the week is, hang on one second, dated July the 30th, and it is How the Perfect Job Candidate Has Changed. And this article is by Joanna York. Traditionally, the ideal candidate had a strong pedigree and specific technical skills, but now recruiters may be more flexible on these strict requirements. As the pandemic has changed many aspects of how we work and the workplace skills we value, it also has evolved how companies are hiring new employees. In the past, a perfect candidate may have attended a notable school, worked for a high-profile company, or had proof of relevant hard skills, tangible technical skills that were suited specifically for a role. Now, however, experts say many companies are shaking off the old definition of an ideal candidate and broadening the search to include non-traditional candidates and different skill sets. And in some cases, they seem to be ditching the idea of looking for the singularly perfect candidate altogether. Although hard skills have traditionally ruled the roost, some companies are moving away from choosing prospective hires based on technical abilities alone. That's not to say that practical know-how is no longer required. Some jobs still call for highly specific expertise, like advanced knowledge of spreadsheets or being a master of video editing software, for instance. But now, say experts, some job descriptions are frequently bringing less tangible criteria to the forefront and asking for candidates to demonstrate soft skills such as leadership or teamwork. The move towards prioritizing soft skills is a natural response to 3 years of the pandemic. Oh, goodness gracious. Hold on one second. For many companies, the turbulence of lockdowns, adapting to new work norms, and weathering a disputed economy showed the value of retaining employees with skills that enable them to collaborate with team members, whatever the circumstances. And for potential hires who will work with or manage remote or hybrid employees, communication is particularly high on the list. So he says that qualities such as empathy, responsiveness, respect, and good listening skills are essential. Ideal candidates also possess adaptability, and that's a quality that McKinsey & Company research has even shown helps companies hang on to employees during longer periods of upheaval. The pandemic also changed realities in the hiring pool, as many workers had reduced opportunities for professional development. In this way, de-emphasizing hard skills on job ads is opening up the options for those job seekers who might not, for example, have had the opportunity to attend or complete a 4-year degree. Some job ads are even indicating that job listings requirements themselves are formality, just by adding notes encouraging candidates that don't meet all stated criteria to apply regardless. This can provide an opportunity for candidates who don't feel that they are traditionally perfect on paper, but they can put themselves in the running. However, amidst the upside, candidates can be aware that this doesn't open up the field as broadly as it may seem. It's believed that strategy also works to a company's advantage in a tight labor market, such as notes draw attention and encourage applications. In this way, it's said that companies can get lots of job seekers into their database, while in reality, they can still be looking for one specific type of person with specific skill sets. The article also says that while many job listings today are encouraging applicants of different backgrounds to apply and de-emphasizing hard skills, many also do still value highly specific technical abilities. Ultimately, there will be still the candidate that's more ideal than others. And many of these new checklists will include both soft skills and hard skills, and many companies are unprepared to train new hires on the latter. But ultimately, he continues, the definition of an ideal candidate is broader than ever. I don't really care about the candidate's schooling or past companies. I care if they have the right skills the company needs and the right mentality, meaning the right fit for the company culture. So This article also welcomes the more balanced approach as it encourages workplace diversity and leads to higher functioning teams. So the article celebrates this evolution. Again, this is the tip of the week and it's dated July the 30th, and it's how the perfect job candidate has changed.
Rosanna, thank you very, very much. I know it was sort of a weird article because usually we have like a number of lists of different things, you know, to be able to knock out, but thank you very much for reading that. All right, today, join us for lunch. We're gonna go to Dickey's Barbecue, 4032 Preston Road in Plano. It's just north of Parker on Preston, south of Spring Creek. It's about halfway between those two major streets. So come join us. I've got potatoes and then the full range of barbecue meats. All right, I need to mention this. The Career DFW and the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group are two different organizations. The common thread, I happen to lead both of them. If you want to overthrow me here and take over the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group, you're welcome to do so, but you're not going to get Career DFW out of my hands. This is not the Friday group of Career DFW. I just want people to understand that. It's just that I sort of have both hats on, so some people assume that sometimes. All right, in just a couple of minutes, we're going to have our main event, which today happens to be open forum. We'll talk about whatever questions you've got about your job search. I saw there's already one question in the chat window that we'll get that into, that we'll answer right away. I do want to mention upcoming sessions. Next Friday, August 8th, August 11th. Man, it's hard to believe it's August already. Walt Glass will be presenting, talking about selling ourselves in a job interview. And then on the 18th, Brandy Shade will be with us to talk about Strength Finders. I know many of you seen Brandy before. She's really, really great talking about Strength Finders, and we'll do that in 2 weeks. All right, it's time for an open forum today. It's our main event. We would love to have everybody. We want to see your smiling face. We'd love for you to please turn on your camera so we can see you for those that are on Zoom. If you don't want to be seen, I recommend you go to our Facebook page and just watch us there on the Career DFW Facebook page. And I've got that link up there at the very bottom. I would love to see your face. I've debated how to do this. Do we just offer this online only? Do we, do we do open forum in person only? Do we do, how do we handle this kind of stuff? So we'd love to see your smiling face. We want to see who you are, what you're doing. It would just be really, really beneficial. So let me stop share here so we can see everybody. The first question that popped up. Yeah, we'll do, just give me 1 second. We'll do that. Kathy, why don't you unmute your mic and first tell us who you are, what you do, what you want, and then tell us your question.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kathy Dixon. I'm a technical writer, and I have extensive experience documenting hardware, software, and application software, processes and procedures. My greatest claim to fame is I took 2 call centers from a state of no documented processes to ISO certification. I am looking for a job in technical writing, and I know that this is a cliche, but I really am industry agnostic. I've worked in the hardware and software industry, and I worked at 7-Eleven documenting their new hardware and software. So the industry doesn't really matter to me. This career fair that's going on Monday is really getting a lot of hype. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of companies there. And I haven't been to a career fair in decades. So I'm wondering, do we take resumes? Do we take printed resumes? Do we take some form of electronic version? Those of you who are more experienced, I'd appreciate your input. Thanks.
If anybody has an opinion, please go ahead. Open your mic and share it, please. Comments about that? The answer is yes. You take everything. All right. So yes, you want to have a few resumes. Now, here's the problem with taking a resume. You may not know what the job description is, and you want to customize your resume to the job description. I would highly recommend that you take a bunch of one-page bios something that tells somebody who you are. And when you start meeting people at a booth, I remember Bobby Wynn once said this. He says, whenever I go to meet somebody at a job fair booth, I go and introduce myself and I say, can I tell you a story? And then he tells one of his star stories. Here's a time when I saved this. I'd love to be able to help your company. I hope we can connect. He said that got him that, think about it. The recruiter's not going to hear anybody say, well, except for the 16 of you that are online right now, you're all going to say the same thing. But, if you go and say, can I tell you a story? You're going to be the person they remember. And that's what you want done. I hesitate, like I said, I hesitate taking resumes because if you don't know what the job description is, you can't customize your resume. But if you do know, but if you take a one-page bio that sort of says, here's my contact information, here's a picture of who I am, I think it's a much more effective tool. So that would be, I'm just, that's my opinion. Anybody else, Walt, anybody else have opinions about that? I definitely would say go on Monday. I mean, they have supposed to have over 200 companies listed. They all should be listed on the website. So you should be able to go through, see what the companies are, see other companies that you're interested in, and go research and see other jobs at that company that you're interested in. There's a good chance that the recruiter at the table, they're not going to be the one who's hiring that job, but maybe they can tell you, do you know the recruiter who's responsible for filling this position? Be sure to ask that question because that will be a very effective tool. And sometimes recruiters will out the other recruiter and go, oh yeah, his name is Joe Smith. And sometimes they'll even give you a phone number. So, definitely go to the job fair. I think it'll be a big one out in Irving.
Yeah, I'll add one thing. Take your business cards. You want to give them to somebody, but you don't care what they do with them. You want to get theirs. And so you can ask to trade business cards. And that doesn't have to be with just the people that are the recruiters. That could be anybody that's attending as well.
Right. That works. All right. Anything,
Thank you, Walt and Jeff. I appreciate it.
anything else anybody has about that you want to mention?
Yes, I just wanted to know more about where can I find information about the job fair that's occurring on Monday?
It should be on the Career DFW calendar, and there should be a link that'll get you to, it's the congressperson from the Irving district. So it's,
Okay.
yeah,
Actually, it depends. It depends who is promoting it because everybody is saying it's the congressperson from their district. It's kind of funny, actually.
all right. Well, I saw saying something was the first person. Yeah. She was the first one who I saw who's publicizing it. But yeah, the
Yes, you're right. She was.
yeah, it
But
should
now even Michael Burgess is claiming he's promoting it. What's he hiring?
be, hey, I would go. Oh, there we go. Drew, thank you. northtexasjobs.com, I guess, is the website.
And I'm pretty sure that Beth Van Dyne is the main organizer of it, though she's got lots of congresswomen, senators, and other elected officials involved too.
Yeah. So it should be pretty good. Check it out. Find the jobs that you're interested in. That should work out really well. All right. We've got two more people who've come in here, and one person actually brought donuts. So if you'll come over in the middle here so everybody can see you. I guess we have another landing to pass on.
We
So
do.
let me spot like this so everybody can see you. All right, please. Go ahead and tell us your story. Tell us who you are and tell us your story.
Okay, I'm Carrie Stumfall. I did land. I have accepted a position as a COO with a large multifamily developer, and they're in the affordable housing space. And so I thought it might be interesting to tell how, you want me to tell how?
Yes,
Okay.
please. Yeah, we'd love to have all the details.
So if you come today, you would have donuts. So the benefit of coming in person.
I'll have a donut while you're
Eat
talking,
these donuts,
okay?
So a recruiter found me in March, and a recruiter from Chicago reached out. So my first point would be make sure you're LinkedIn is updated. And I've worked with Terry Sullivan in the past, who's spoken to the group, but he offered, but I never had time, and he did not, I did not have him relook, but I went back and refreshed my LinkedIn and with what he had advised originally. So also worked with Walt Glass. So I would highly recommend working with Walt on interview skills. I always said, I'm a strategic operations, financial operations. I'd said it better, obviously. And here's how I can help. Here's how I help companies. And I kept it focused on what they needed and how I could help. And I just kept remembering that. And I was very clear, because I've been through job searches before. And I think this time I was much more clear about my strengths and what I can do to help and how I make a difference. And I did do a bio. They did not ask for a bio, but I sent the bio with my resume to the recruiter after she called me. So, so the LinkedIn, the interview practice, and don't discount your extracurricular activities. So I'm on the board of 2 nonprofits, and I had them listed in my heading on LinkedIn. And of course, they're down there, and they're just board seats I've had for a while. But this but my real estate, my career has been in real estate, and mostly real estate development, companies and capital raise. And so it's interesting. This just happens to be a nonprofit real estate company, and because it's affordable housing. And when I finally met them in person after several online interviews, first thing, the CEO, how did you get involved with your nonprofits? And I'm like, how about that? You know, I just, one has housing related, one does not, but just that mission focused, it showed my heart, my passion. And I think that I don't know for sure, but maybe that helped make a difference, because it was so much about culture. And I asked them, why is it taking you so long to find someone? And they said, we don't want anything to mess up. We don't want anyone to mess up what we have, because they're so protective of their culture.
What they're doing. So how long was the interview? I mean, you said you had multiple interviews with the company. How many?
So they started in March with the recruiter, and then I went through the HR person. Then I went to the CEO another time, and then had 3 team members on a video call, which was very difficult. I told Walt, it's over. It didn't go well. I didn't feel like it went well. It's just very difficult when it's a panel and some people don't come on camera. And so that happened. That was probably May or June. And then they came back again. And so you never know what's going on in their world and what they're dealing with. And so July is when they we met in person, and I did have to prepare a 90-day plan and then discuss it. And then at the very end, with less than 24-hour notice, they sent me a SWOT analysis, and I had to put an action plan together based on that. And I think all that was intentional. Less than 24 hours to see what I would do. I'm sure it was.
Wow, quite a process.
So I feel like I did a 5-hour. So when we finally met in person, I went to dinner with the team and a board member. And then the next day met for 5 hours with the team and then the board. So it was pretty intense, but I'm glad I feel like they know me though, and they've seen some of my work. So that's good.
So the important question is, what did you order when you went out to dinner?
It was
Because
nice.
I've always heard you want to have something very simple, not spaghetti sauce.
No, I
nothing nothing would spill.
Yes, don't spill the drinks. I'm kind of known for that in my family. Just don't spill your drinks. So I was trying to think if there was anything else that
That was
so
really
just
great.
be encouraged. Yeah. So
Well, good. Well, congratulations. When do you start?
next week.
Next week.
Next
All
Tuesday,
right. Well,
yeah.
congratulations.
But thank you all. Thanks for all your, even if, we're not always here in person, the online opportunities and just the refreshers for resumes and everything. Just thank you. Thank you for all y'all do. It's really encouraging.
Great. Thank
So,
you. Why don't you pass the mic back to Lily? She was not here when we did 30-second reduction. So Lily, tell us who you are and
Yes,
please, you gotta eat donuts, okay? Because these, All right, thank you. Can you send me an email with the details? Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Lily Kadur. I'm sorry I ran a little late and took a little time getting upstairs. I have been in a career with software development. I'm transitioning to cybersecurity, focusing on IT auditor or GRC analyst, also open to a security analyst role. However, a couple of people have suggested that I might want to take up any job so that the employment gap isn't going to be a hindrance. But people in that space understand that I'm staying busy, 8-hour workday, even listening to podcasts while washing dishes. But I don't know, some people have that. So I'm also open to any IT related job, even if it's a contract position. Dion, congrats on your landing the new position. I wanted to give you a shout out and also send you a note. Lily Kadur.
Great, thank you very much. All right, what else can we answer? What else can we answer for somebody? Please let us know. What kind of questions you have on your job search? Come on, it's gonna be a short meeting if you don't say anything, you don't ask any questions.
I was going to say during the article reading, one of the things people are looking for in soft skills, which I feel like I put down on my resume, are some of my strengths, leadership, team building or whatever, but then they said they want some specific examples. Does anybody have any really good examples they'd like to share, when they're interviewing, how do you define or give an example of your leadership or your team building or both?
How do you do that? Oh, come on out there. Everybody being shy.
Well, Jeff, I'll just relate a little bit. It wasn't directly that, but it did go in that direction. In the company that I was working at, small company, my position was pretty much a standalone job. I was doing a lot of analysis and software, signal processing software development. But at one point, the company had a project they were working on that was going to end up producing deliverable software. This was on a DoD contract. They were going to deliver had deliverable software to do, but it had to be developed from scratch. And so I was instrumental in doing initial definition of what that software was going to be like and how it was going to work out. But no one had ever really been assigned to lead the deliverable software team. So I ended up recognizing that nobody was really driving that team forward. So I had to take my standalone analysis role and use that to push the development team and really got them organized around a specific way of putting that together before they ended up getting somebody who was more software oriented, taking on the development of that team. So it wasn't, it wasn't an assigned leadership position. It wasn't really a defined leadership position, but it was something that had to happen in order to get that project moving. And it eventually did. People who took it over eventually did get it finalized and delivered, but then I was still involved in the background of all of that.
Right. Yeah, that's a great example of no bull by the horns. And you sort of said, okay, I'm going to do this. And if you can put that in a little, 60-second star story, here's what I have to do. And, that's great. Anybody else have a good example? Yes, Kathy.
So a company I was working at, they were converting from one database to another to monitor security alarm systems in homes and businesses. And there was always a lot of, it was an antagonistic relationship between the different groups that had to go through the security monitoring system and coordinate. They were not coordinating. They were not getting together. And so I said, okay, before we start this, how about if we have a meeting and we get a representative from each group there and we just talk? And as it turns out, the one group didn't know what the other group was doing. They weren't getting the information they needed because they didn't know, the group they were getting information from didn't know what they needed. It was just basically poor management from the very beginning. So instead of that being one meeting, we continued to have meetings until we had the entire system, new system designed. And as the technical writer, I coordinated those meetings because I knew what I was going to need to know to put into the document. And when we came out of that, there was no longer any antagonistic relationships between the teams. They were cooperative now because they knew what the other teams needed from them. So thank you for the idea to put that in a star story. I will.
Yeah, that's a great story. Yeah. Anybody else?
Okay, now?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't a leader, but always had the team spirit in me. In fact, one of my supervisors had put down an annual review, strong team player, always have at heart the collaboration and unity of a team. So when I saw conflict between two members of my team, I was constantly talking to them to help them reconcile. And one of them seemed to have a negative view for no reason. And thankfully, I had a good relationship with him. So I was able to steer him away from that mindset. And so much so that the manager had once mentioned at the team meeting, really appreciate your efforts to unify.
Good.
Yeah, I guess if we have that mindset, and if you're a leader, I mean, look for one or two people who have that mindset of being, helping make peace between others.
That sort of answer your question. Do you think that you got?
Yeah.
They definitely answered the question. I'm just kind of looking for examples like being in the classroom, and I've been coaching for 25 years. So I definitely have leadership qualities, communication qualities, but I'm just trying to, figure out as I get into the start getting interviews and they want some examples. I can talk about leading a classroom all day or leading a team, but I just wanted to maybe hear some ideas in the corporate world. How do my skills relate? So I just wanted to hear some examples, but definitely thank you so much.
Okay, great. What else can we answer for somebody? I tell you what, Glenn, why don't you give us your 30-second introduction since you just chit-chatted?
Okay. My name is Glenn Meggs. I'm a retired PhD mathematician with background and experience in signal processing in several different environments. Currently facilitating the engineering focus group. Glenn Meggs.
Great. Thank you very much. All right. What else can we answer for somebody? One of the things, yes, Veronica.
I was gonna ask, and I feel like I've been getting a lot of, I'm on different job sites like Monster, Dice, Indeed, LinkedIn, of course. And I feel like I've been getting a lot of bogus ones, or I guess I'm getting a lot of recruiters that I feel like aren't legit, because one of them, I went to LinkedIn to try to look them up and of course found nothing on them. But they keep, contacting me saying, hey, they have this great offer here in Dallas Fort Worth for me. So I guess which websites or career job sites should I be really focusing on if I'm trying to make a career pivot that are going to be legit, where I don't get a lot of this, what I call spam, junk email or calls?
Walt said, good luck with that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because I feel like the only ones that are pretty
yeah,
much legit for me have been Dice and LinkedIn. Here I seem like lately here on Monster, I'm getting a lot of garbage from Monster.
I concur.
you do get a lot of stuff from Monsters, actually sometimes from Indeed. It's one of those deals where it's like all the other spam. You just have to delete a lot, block phone numbers. Yeah, there's a lot of noise with that, and there are people doing that. If you're gonna be publicly available, you're gonna get it. But Dice has gotten to be better than it used to be. There's a guy in another group who gets a lot of leads from Monster that he says he likes that. I don't know that I really believe him, because every time I went on Monster and refreshed my resume on Monster, it always brought out all that stuff, and you just spend the first 2 weeks rejecting it all. I don't really know there's any way to avoid it.
Yeah, and
You
I
just
think a
have
lot of
to learn to hit delete a lot.
yeah, and I think a lot of them are, I guess, would the word be correctly used to say independent recruiters, or people who just kind of go out there and I don't know if what type of search they do, but I'm getting, like I say, a lot of them, and it makes me feel a little uncomfortable because I did see the one lady that reached out to me for JP Chase Morgan. She seems to be legit. I do have something set up with them for next Friday, but I guess it's just, some of the, I guess the messaging that I've been getting from her as well, it makes me feel like, okay, is it legit? Or, it just makes you feel like, which one should I just kind of close down and just delete, so that I don't get, those bogus or the ones that are just misleading, and everything. So I thought I would just ask if anybody had any advice on that, but I'm pretty good at the delete button. So
No, I was just gonna say to really kind of get it back to kind of the core, I'd say first, just concentrate with LinkedIn. Let the
Okay.
other kinds of things go. Don't really do much with them. Stay with LinkedIn. That it's not a certainty, but I think you get a little bit higher quality connections through LinkedIn. The stuff is that the spam stuff comes through them as well. But at least you have a better chance, I think, for it to be cleaner, and just, cut some of the other stuff off and reduce it down to just 1 or 2 sources.
Right.
Watch, for job leads through the networking groups. Some of the groups get a lot more in the way of job leads that they pass on than other groups do. But watch through those. But it's like a lot of stuff. You turn off all the outside taps until you decide that the ones you've got left aren't giving you enough, and you can widen back out.
Right. And that's kind of what I said to myself last night, because it was just really getting really frustrating, because like I said, a lot of them were like calling me. Like right now, I'm getting a call from one that's, has been hammering me the last 2 weeks, and everything. It's like a very low paying job. And I'm like, why do you think I want a low paying job? I want, to advance. I want to pivot and everything. But yes, thanks for the feedback on that. I'll definitely just kind of focus more on LinkedIn, and of course the networking events here that have been provided as well.
Yeah, I think I also just want to, just remind everybody that finding a job online, finding something on Monster or Career Builder or any of those websites, you only have a 5 to 10% chance job. If you're dealing with a recruiter, 10 to 15%. And a lot of recruiters, as Veronica said, they're bogus. They're just see a company ad and they're just trying to see if that's something in there. There's a good chance you're going to hear from you're going to hear the 3 or 4 recruiters are going to call you just for the exact same job, because they're just trying to job you into a spot. 75 to 80% of jobs are found through networking. Who can I network with? I'm following a company. I'm looking at their jobs. I want this job. How can I network my way in? That's how you're going to find your next job. So, it's okay to spend a little bit of time on those websites, but I think you've got to spend time talking to people to be able to really reach out.
Yeah,
Well,
and that was interesting. It was posted on the career ministry, and I meant to share that with some people. It was a very interesting one. They had like a lot of different companies, like JP Morgan was one of them, and it had on there, I guess, like their training portal, like kind of what the lady said that just landed the job with the nonprofit. It was kind of like you go out there and you do a project for them, and then they review it and they'll give you feedback on it. And they said it was a great connection to kind of get your foot in the door as well. And actually somebody from Salesforce had sent me their training portal, and I've been actually, every week spending like maybe 5 or 6 hours on it, doing little projects on there to show that I have project management experience as well as technical account manager experience. And that's been very helpful too. And they also have some people that have reached out to me, asking if I need help or guidance, or if I wanted to do like a ride day with them here in Dallas, Fort Worth, just to kind of see what they do on a day-to-day basis. So those are some things that I've been looking into as well.
right. Kathy, you got a comment?
I do. I wanted to say, first of all, a question for Lily. Lily, have you gotten some recent cybersecurity training? And you don't have to answer me, but that's just an idea that maybe you might want to connect with Dr. Dumas and make sure you have that. There were several tech writer positions in cybersecurity, and I actually had that experience, but it's about 10 years old. And all the recruiters I talked to told me that they need more current experience. So I'm meeting with Dr. Dumas at the job fair on Monday to see about getting some cybersecurity certification from him.
Who is Dr. Dumas? What organization?
Computer Minds, Dr. Orlando Dumas, he's with Computer Minds, and he
I've been through Computer Minds in 2018 with the 6-month course, which I ended up having to abandon after 3 months. They were very good, but not fast enough.
Okay, well, you might want to check into them again, because 2018, that's been 5 years ago, and things change really fast in the IT industry in 5 years. So the other thing I wanted to say is the most valuable information I got out of the Tuesday Frisco Connect group is when you see a job on LinkedIn, on Dice, go see if you can find the HR person on LinkedIn and connect with them. I have been doing that since then, and I've gotten my resume to the right person at the right time.
Even better, the hiring manager.
Well, or the recruiter, the recruiter that I connected with, one of the recruiters I connected with, she got my resume to the hiring manager, but she wouldn't tell me his name. Cool. He's looking at my resume. That's all I really ever want, is for somebody to get my resume to the top of the stack. I'm not necessarily looking for a referral. I'm looking for getting the hiring manager to look at it. So I thought that was an incredibly valuable tip on Tuesday, and I just wanted to reiterate it here.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
Veronica,
And
you're up.
Jeff, it just comment here too. A lot of companies require that you go through HR or a recruiter before you get to talk to a hiring manager. A lot of companies won't even let the hiring managers can't even talk to you until they get it directly, can't talk to you officially anyway, until they get it through HR. So just because you can't get to the hiring manager doesn't mean you shouldn't follow up and go to it, because the recruiters they want to get paid too, and they get paid when you get hired. So they want to get you hired as quickly as possible as well.
Right. Veronica, why don't you go ahead and give us your 30-second introduction so we know who you are and how we can help.
Yes, Veronica Tatum. I'm a senior sourcing manager for global supply chain. I work with Samsung, Nokia, Ericsson to negotiate RAN mobility contracts for our 5G, 6G network. I'm currently in a career pivot. I have over 25 years at one company, and I'm just ready to step out and really do something a little different maybe in my career. like I said, over 25 years of IT network infrastructure background, over 5 or 6 in global supply chain and vendor management, as well as customer success management as well. I am looking at some target companies such as JP Chase Morgan, McKesson, Splunk. If anyone has any contacts with any of those type companies, and like I said, I'm pretty much open to anything within like project management, perhaps, or technical account management. Those have always been my specialties over my last 25 years here in Dallas, Fort Worth. So Veronica Tatum, and like I said, open to connect.
Great, Veronica. Thank you very much. All right, what else can we answer for somebody? Question somebody else has.
I had some information to share. Have you, I guess, is anyone aware of the Department of Homeland Security recruitment event? 2 straight days, 8 straight hours each day, and it's in Arlington, the Esports Stadium, Arlington and Expo Center, the 22nd of August and the 23rd, 8 hours each day.
Can you send me that information?
I'll do
get it on the
that,
calendar.
yes, because they seem to have a lot of openings, and
Okay,
even the government jobs, some of them, they are letting people do remote, you never know.
right. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
another job fair coming up. We'll be sure to get that up on the calendar. Perfect. What else can we, what else can we answer for somebody out there? Anthony, you want to give us your 30-second introduction?
Morning, everyone. How y'all doing this morning?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing very well. My name is Anthony Archer. I'm a retail slash merchandiser senior manager. I focus on growing sales and profit and working with people. Anthony Archery.
Great. Thank you very, very much. Anybody have any questions? All right, I guess I'm going to keep going around and ask everybody to give their 30-second introductions. Miss Rosanna, why don't you tell us who you are and what you want to do when you grow up?
Rosanna. So I am Rosanna. I am a project coordinator, project associate project manager or assistant project manager. I am looking for a role in the digital marketing space. And I am Rosanna.
What, you have any target companies that we can maybe?
No, I'm still looking for the industry. I'm going, this is a brand new thing for me. So I'm doing my research.
Okay, very good. All right, let's see who else we've done there. How about Jesus? Do you want to give us your 30-second introduction?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jesus Quintero. I'm a bilingual cybersecurity analyst looking for new opportunities. My 2 target companies right now are Amazon, Deloitte, expanding to that list to many others. I'm Jesus.
Great. Thank you very much. How about Steve Rohan? Why don't you give us your introduction? Steve, here we go. Yep, you're muted. There we go.
All right. Okay. I've sort of retired and still doing some signing up with some groups, but I was a software manager for many years, and I'm looking for either a software manager or a software developer role in at this time. My name is Steve Roland.
Steve, thank you very, very much. Let's see who else. Rosanna, well, yeah, Rosanna, how about your 30-second introduction? You know, I think she said she had to step away for a second, if I remember in the chat window. Drew Puckett, why don't you give us your 30-second introduction?
Hi, everybody. I'm Drew Puckett. I'm a marketing operations and technology manager. I'll dig into the weeds so that you don't have to. I have a real passion for data, and I have experience with Salesforce, Eloqua, Power BI, and SQL Server, among other technologies. I'm Drew Puckett.
And do you have a couple target companies you want to share?
Well, I did notice, I looked, what you suggested, Jeff, about looking through the companies that are coming to the job fair, and I noticed that CoreLogic has a potential job.
Good. All right. All right. All right. So what kind of questions can we answer for people? Oh, here we go. We got one here.
How many of you guys use the DM in LinkedIn to reach out and connect with anybody that has posted a job?
How effective have you found the direct messaging or the messaging through LinkedIn to be?
Well, I just started since I heard about it Tuesday and I've already had 2 hits. So 100% actually.
So,
Yeah, I've been
sorry.
pretty good at it as well. Like I said, I had a lady from Amazon reach out to me based on a comment I had just made following their something they had posted that I was interested in, and I had replied with a particular small company that's located in South Louisiana that actually, you know, they get a lot of their resources for as far as when it comes to the cotton and everything for some designer wear and everything. So this person reached out to me. I've had quite a few hits since, like everybody said, making some small changes on my LinkedIn profile. And like I said, I've had some of them just directly message me on some things. So.
Good. Dion, you were going to say something?
Yes, just to echo what everybody else is saying, many of my connections and foot in the door came through LinkedIn, sending those short notes with connections or whatever, or replying on somebody's post or whatever. And just like Veronica said, I've been reached out from other individuals that asked if I was interested in a certain position. And also, as Kathy said, I've also been asked, hey, we have this job that I think you'll be good at. If you're interested, shoot me directly your resume and I can try to get it to the hiring manager that's looking to fill that role. So it absolutely works. It's, again, leveraging your network and those individuals that are out there.
Yeah. So, I mean, a couple goals you have on LinkedIn is you want to have over 500 connections. So you want to be well connected. If you have less than 500, every day you should try to find 5 new people to send a connection request to. When you send that connection request, be sure to send a personal note. Tell somebody why you want to connect. I have people every day who send me connection requests. I don't know why. There's no note. I don't know where they came from. I don't know how they found me. And I don't connect with those people because I want to know why we should connect. That you saw me here, that you saw me in another session. You saw me at Frisco Connect. I had a few people at Frisco Connect who sent me a note. So always send that personal note. I wish I was king of LinkedIn. I would force you to have to write at least 10 words when you send send an invitation to somebody of why we should connect.
Jeff, there's been a lot of how I got connected to a lot of people too over the last month or so was through this one guy. He actually updated my profile picture and sent it to me, and then the next day I got an invite to do what they call social LinkedIn on Saturdays, where, and one of them, I ended up finding out we worked together at AT&T for years together. So we ended up reconnecting and everything. So those are some things that I've been getting a lot of invites from those social SWAT weekends and sometimes there's recruiters who are actually hosting them, because there's one gentleman from JP Chase Morgan that hosts on weekends and everything. So I've been kind of joining those when my schedule allows me to, and making new connections through there as well.
So got a question. So Veronica, a question about that. Where did you find out about these? Because I mean, I've never seen anybody hosting a social thing. Is it a group you got part of or what?
Like I said, Jeremy Neal, who worked with me at AT&T, kind of just tagged me in once. I just replied to something that he posted. And next thing I knew, my network started growing from there. Like you said, I make sure they're legit, not just somebody just wanting to have followers or whatever they want. But a lot of them have been people I've worked with over the last 25 years, either at AT&T or JCPenney or any other companies that I've worked for here while I've been in Dallas and everything. And I know somebody asked about that one link that I put in there for that company. I found out through my church, One Community Church. There's a career ministry network they have. Nikki is her name. That's what she goes by. She posted that earlier this week, and that was something that was given to me by a recruiter as well, and a contact to just go out there and start, like I said, practicing on those particular links. And it gives you an insight into some of those companies like Walmart, JPH Morgan, and everything. There was one girl who said she went out there and that's how she landed her job as a software engineer. She ended up just practicing on the portal that when she went through that link, and they saw her finished product and they offered her a position.
Right. And, I think, I don't know if everybody picked up on the keywords that Veronica just said. Her whole sentence, the keywords is she responded to a post. She added a comment to somebody's post out there, and then they reached back out. So I think that's really, really important. I mean, you just sort of glassed over that real quick, but I think that's what everybody needs to be doing. When you're on LinkedIn, if you spend, Terry Sullivan says, spend 15 to 30 minutes a day on LinkedIn, and you go through your feed and you see something, make a comment on it. Because when you do, the person who posted it will see that you made the comment, and then they may go look to see, well, what does that person do? And you never know how that's going to lead. So, every day you should like, share, and once a week post something original, just to, make those connections. Like and share 3 to 5 things a day if you can, because not hard.
I have a background in retail, and so I ended up reaching out. I saw something that this gentleman in May posted that he had something big coming in like June, July, Ron Thurston. And next thing I know, he and I are friends. He invited me to some workshop they've had. He's like, hey, if you want to get back into the retail industry, just let me know and everything. And I've been, advocating for him as well, in my part-time job at Target, saying, hey, maybe y'all need to link up with him for some leadership training for some of our leaders and everything. So, and like I said, I've been on his little podcast radio show. So I just kind of, like I said, go out there. It may seem dumb, but, I posted something the other week where my friend's daughter sent me Flat Stanley to take around with me at work. So I was downtown Dallas. I was like, hey, I'm showing him the Discovery District. And next thing I know, I have 180 some people replying to it and everything. So yeah, just, we take selfies almost every day. So why not just post something? You never know, like I say, who it sparks an interest in or who you might be able to connect with and everything.
Right.
So.
Jeff?
Yes, go ahead.
On LinkedIn, when you place a comment, there's usually a comment on that saying, turn it into a post for more visibility. Unless you're at a point where you need to limit your posts for the week, it may be a good idea to turn it into a post.
Yeah, you can. Post it. You should post something once a week. Post something original, post something if you gotta go to feedly.com.
Yeah.
If you see something, but be sure to post something that's related to what it is you want to do. Be sure to post something that is relative to your job, because if people start to comment and see it, you want them to focus. That's what you want to focus it on. If you're just focusing fun things about kitty cats, you can do that on Facebook. You can do that someplace else. But on LinkedIn, try to keep it job related. It makes all the difference in the world.
Jeff, I have a question. So you just mentioned something that I don't know how to use, which is Feedly. And so I wanted to find out, does anybody here know how to use Feedly? I have an account, but I don't know what to do.
Anybody else use feedly.com? My understanding is with Feedly, I don't have the account, but if you have one, you set up what kind of feeds that you're interested in. Apparently there's a way to set up that I want to see stuff on X, Y, and Z subjects. Then when you click on those subjects, which will be over on the left-hand side of the screen, it then will then start to have a bunch of articles that fit in that category that'll pop up on the right, and you can just scroll down to find an article that you're interested in. You go, oh, I want to talk about that. You can click on that article, then go copy the URL, and that's what you go and you post into LinkedIn. And then LinkedIn will suck in the basic picture, and then you can tell people, here's why you think this is a really great article, whatever it is you want to go for. So Feedly is just a way to be able to find other news stories that maybe you're not, you wouldn't normally see.
Now we're spelling that Feedly, right? Or,
why? Yes.
okay, thanks.
Thing I recommend too is if you're not sure how to use Feedly, reach out to who does the LinkedIn on Terry. Reach out to Terry Sullivan.
That didn't work. It didn't work. I already did it. That contact didn't work for me to do that. The conflict. Yeah.
He only does phone calls between 4 and 5 o'clock. You can get a 15-minute phone call with him and, see if, okay, that didn't work.
No, it didn't work.
All right. Well, that's what you're trying to do. You're just trying to post original content. You can get it from any place. If you go, hopefully everybody here is on multiple feeds from trade journals of whatever your business is. Find those trade journals. They're all online. If you find an article that's interesting, take that and post that. Let somebody know. Come up with original content. Just go, I was just thinking over the weekend about so-and-so, and you sit there and just, type up something. Doesn't have to have a picture. One of the things I did learn this past week all about LinkedIn is that if you don't update your profile every 90 days, you get pushed way down. Even if you say that you're open to work, if you don't renew that at least once every 90 days, even if you have the banner on, it's not going to consider you open to work. It's going to consider you that you've just sort of forgotten about LinkedIn. So you want to be active. You want to do things on LinkedIn just to let so that they'll keep you up in the rating system. What else can we answer for somebody? Anything? Anything else y'all want to talk about? Thank you for appointing me King, Drew. I appreciate that. And Kathy, King of Microsoft. Anybody else? Any other questions anybody has? All right, well, then I guess we will end our meeting today. Let me share a few more slides and we will get out of here. Next Friday, Walt Glass will be with us. I mean, he's with us right now, but he'll be with us about selling ourselves in job interviews. So come join us next Friday for that session. If you have not put your 30-second introductions into the chat window, please do so I can make sure I update the roster, and I'll get that roster out to everybody later this afternoon. Career DFW and Career USA, we're putting on training 4 days a week. Please join us. Next Tuesday, Kurt Vondermatter will be with us to talk about LinkedIn from a recruiter's eye. Kurt pays the big dollars to LinkedIn, and being a retained search consultant, he is trying to find you. And it's just amazing what he'll show us when he shows us what the back end of LinkedIn looks like next week. Next Wednesday, the practice interview team will be meeting online. We have an actual practice interview scheduled. You'll be able to watch it. It'll be on Zoom only. It will not be recorded to view after the event. So if you do need to watch it, you want to watch it live. And remember, you're going to learn a lot just by watching somebody else being interviewed. Because in your mind, you're going to say, ooh, I wouldn't have answered it that way. Or that was a great answer. I need to make sure I think about that. So come join us next Wednesday via Zoom. Next Thursday, being the second Thursday of the month, we're going to talk all about networking. Every session, we've got a different speaker who shares their thoughts on networking. This session has been recorded. It will be on the Career DFW Facebook page and the Career USA YouTube channel. On the Career USA YouTube channel, this session will be up there. It'll be a couple hours before YouTube gets it loaded. So maybe 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon. But once it does, I've got over 530 videos up there. So be sure to click on playlist. Otherwise, you see all 500 videos. If you click on playlist, every video I upload goes into a different playlist. So you see their resumes, networking, LinkedIn. If you pick the one for the North Dallas Plano group focus from our speakers here. When you click on view full playlist, up will come a list of all the different topics and dates that, and the titles that people have talked about, and you can view any of those you want at your convenience. Please note that any of them from the North Dallas list, the speaker doesn't start until about 25 to 30 minutes in. So you need to usually scroll past the beginning of it. Today, come join us today for lunch. We're going to be at Dickey's Barbecue, 4032 Preston Road. It's just north of Parker. It's halfway between Parker and Spring Creek, south of Spring Creek. So come join us, Dickey's Barbecue in Plano. So thank you for joining us, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we look forward to seeing you next week.